And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Saturday, July the 31st at 1:02 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So, the truth will set you free. What do I mean by that? Here's the thing. You know, when I was joining the Army, more than anything, right? I really just wanted to be an infantryman. And for those of you that are unaware, infantry is basically the soldiers that run up the hills and charge and, you know, run into the battles and do that other stuff, okay? But when I was talking to my recruiter, he made a lot of valid points, which basically he was saying that if you get a job that will translate, for example, more into the civilian world, once you get out, you can find something that'll more easily translate into getting a job experience, blah, blah, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. So I chose to do something different because in theory, what he's saying, there's a lot of truth to it. So for example, if you are artillery, if you're shooting missiles and stuff like that, or rockets, that doesn't translate over to the civilian world. It's not really like a craft. But here's the truth about it. What if, and I'm always nonstop, more than everything, always trying to do what I'm about to say, which is always doing the truest of true, meaning this. I chose something that was not infantry, based off of kind of logic what he said, but truth in my life, okay, takes more precedent than logic. And here's what I'm getting at. By not pursuing infantry, okay, I have a job now that did translate, and, you know, so forth and so on. However, by being an infantryman, by being that kind of soldier, okay, still a soldier, but that kind of a job in the Army, all right, I would have been pursuing the corest, real, true being of myself. And not doing that, not being that, has always made me reflect into not necessarily regret, okay, because that's like kind of a strong word. What I'm saying is, it always propelled me, because even when I was doing my one job in the Army, I always wanted to do the other, and I felt like that's what I would be doing, should be doing, aspire, working towards to be doing, you know? And that's exactly why I feel about comedy, but the difference is I am doing it. Now, imagine you lived in a world, a realm, a universe, etc., where everything that you did was to the truest of your core. Imagine how beautiful that would be. Imagine how peaceful you would be. You know, there's a famous phrase saying whatever, called like a starving artist. They may be starving, okay? But I'm sure they are truly happy. And in my life, the constant pursuit of truth, the constant pursuit of being myself, yourself, etc., truest core, is one of the most important and always seeking things to do. Because if you did live in this realm of world and possibilities, etc., where everything that you did was based off of that truest instinct of who you are, where would you be right now? Just ask yourself, where would you be right now? Because it's not ever too late, and you can always do it, okay? But just imagine if every single choice that you made was always that one. If it was always that one, I wouldn't even have like really met my wife, or my best battle buddy, friend, brother in arms, etc. I mean, maybe, but you know, everything would be completely different. And by not doing that one choice, it's propelled me with even more conviction in comedy, in jiu-jitsu, in my warrior spirit, okay? And in the truth of who I am. Now, I'm not just rambling, I'm actually making sense here. So here's the thing. I was doing some like meditating, and I know that sounds very woo-woo, but when you're relaxing and you're abandoning all your thoughts and things come at you, in other words, daydreaming, you're meditating. And I do that minimum twice a day, where I just sort of kind of like static. Let the world come to me, and I don't really think about anything, and I just relax. And subconsciously, my not really problems as far as like negative, but like my equations, my things that I'm trying to solve and figure out in comedy, in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, come at me more naturally when I just sort of zone out, focus out all of the distractions, and just be at my true self, be who I am, as I am, myself. Now I'm saying this for a point because I think on the premise, on the idea that somebody, myself, yourself, anyone, were to realistically, if not from this point forward, okay, or before then, but always, if you would have always done what's truest at your core being, where would you be in life? I think it's a really interesting question, seriously, because maybe somebody wants to be a pilot, but they became a world famous doctor. Okay? Well, how much more interesting, or how much, you see what I'm getting at? I feel like the world itself pulls people into the logic, which is a lie. There is truth to that logic, but it is a lie as far as who you are at your core. And I always continue to think that in the Army, and to this day, because as a warrior, as a soldier, taking an oath, defending against foreign and domestic, okay? I love my spirit, I love who I am, but it is a life, forever long pursuit of constantly pursuing that true core of essentially, yeah, yourself. So I just thought it was a really interesting question, and I'm not rambling on. I really am, when I do these, I really am like free thinking and whatnot, and trying to describe it. In a lot of ways, this is kind of like the process, not exactly, but in a similar way, when I'm coming up with like a joke material, something like that, I say it out loud, because the way I figure it is, how can I explain it to somebody else in a clear and concise manner if I can barely explain it to myself out loud? So when I hear it, it makes sense to me. When I'm doing these shows, when I'm doing these episodes and everything, I have an idea of something, so it may take a little while for me to contextualize and to get it out and to have it actually make sense. But I am trying, and I think that that's a muscle that's like underused. And considering that I'm by myself, and I'm literally thinking out loud, trying to describe to you, the listener, and have it make clear and concise sense to you. And as I hear it to myself, I know, okay, self-correct, that didn't come out right, self-correct, that didn't come out right, readjust. And once you finally have something smooth, then you say it on stage. But when I'm doing this, it's very raw, so, yeah, I just sort of had a question, and I don't really have the answer to it, but I can tell you the answer of myself, which is, when I joined the Army, I wanted to be infantry, more specifically a ranger, more than anything else. Didn't care, didn't matter. And not to get into it, but basically I was told after I was in, I could pursue that. I could do Army Ranger, which is basically like a billet, like a tab, like a unit kind of, for the lack of better terms for someone that doesn't really know the military, but anyway. It's similar to, it's a special forces operation, wing. Again, I'm just trying to like summarize it to someone, but anyway, and when I got in the Army and I tried to do that, not name blaming, the blame begins in myself. However, I did try it again while I was already in, but my leadership, they just basically didn't want to give someone away, not just myself, but others. There's a certain leadership style where basically it's like a very tight form of leadership style, where essentially they can take no blame, and by doing no wrong, by taking no risk. It's a very boring style of leadership. And it basically comes down to not letting any of your soldiers have any freedom. None of them re-enlisted. Well, very, very few re-enlisted. And nobody got anything that they wanted while they're in there. no cross training, no diverse. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of great experiences that are, again, ever lifelong building experiences. But that constant, I'm not going to say regret, but that constant pull once I got out was the biggest, strongest bond that forged inside me. Because I knew from that point forward, once I was already in, I'm going to be the most raw, true form of myself. And I haven't ever stopped, and that's just who I am today. So maybe, just maybe, you can think in your own life, what is it something that is your deepest desire that you've always wanted to do, or that you are doing, or that you're close to be doing? Okay? And what if you were to be that person? That's a beautiful thing. I think it really is. And you can be it. You can start with right now. So I'm doing it, and I hope everybody else that has that inside of them are doing that. And it was just an interesting question. Not necessarily if you do it later, if you're doing it now, but if you've always done it, where you would be. But like I said, that not doing that, not being an infantryman early, is what really forged the most to help me be who I am today. In a weird way, turning that kind of negative into a ultra positive. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too much rambling. Maybe I made some sense to you, and maybe, just maybe, you got something out of it. So with that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Maybe getting you to think a little bit, and hope everybody has a beautiful day. I got some shows to announce. I hope you guys liked my comedy that I said, but the revolution of ever since Corona happened, last week I released like 5 minutes. If you go to my last week's episode, the last like 5 minutes is me doing stand-up. The revolution of my and evolution of my writing and comedy has, over and above, gotten so much better since that taping. I really have to do a new video recorded taping set. And I'm not really a dirty comic, but surprisingly enough, it's all clean. My next like 15 minutes are all like completely clean. And I don't mean like dirty topics. I just mean like there's no like cussing, language, bad, none of that. It's really, really good. So, but that's subjective, and maybe you'll like it. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Thank you again always for your time. Please keep listening, and I really appreciate you getting to know me, because one day I'd love to get to know you back, and this is just a way for you to get to know me when I'm off stage. So when I'm on stage, you'll have a kind of an idea as far as how I think, how my thoughts are, how I form ideas and patterns, and more or less stuff like that. So with that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Have a beautiful day. Peace.